Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another Legends of 40k video. I thought since somebody mentioned Captain Badrukk in one of the comments that I would just do Captain Badrukk, because that's fun. He's an Orc special character from the Orc Codex. He's a squad upgrade special character as well. I thought I'd do a little block of squad upgrade special characters, because why not? He is a squad upgrade special character for the Flash Gitz, which are basically Orc pirates. They're freebooters for the most part. So let's look at Captain Badrukk. He can lead one Flash Gitz mob, and he's 135 points just for him, which is pretty pricey for a special character, squad upgrade type of character. Weapon skill of 5, ballistic skill of 2, strength and toughness of 4, 2 wounds, initiative 3, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 3 plus save. Wargear, he has gold 2 farmer, the Ripper, 3 powder grots, a boss pole, a slugger, a chopper, a gift finder, and stick bombs. He has the powder grots, he has 3 of them. He counts as having 3 ammo runs. These are separate from the ammo runs allowed by his unit, so you can have a lot of ammo runs, not one unit if you wanted it. The gold 2 farmer gives him the 3 plus armor save, and incorporates a force field, giving him a 5 plus invulnerability save. And the Ripper is a shooting weapon, 24 inches, strength 7, AP 2, assault 3, gets hot. Now special rules is mob rule, furious charge, and wall. So, before I go into what I think about using him and how I use him, his model first and foremost. He has a model. I like it. It's unique looking when compared to the rest of the Orc range, and I like that. So he looks cool like that. I wish his weapon is pretty orky and ornate in that way. I would like it a little bit more so, but it definitely gets the point across. And when you look at him, he really does stand out with the pirate hat. I like the whole pirate freebooter look. So it definitely makes it stand out when you compare him to the other range of Orcs, at least in my opinion. And he doesn't look out of place either, and that's nice. As far as what I think about his entry, he's got a solid stat line. Now, all Orcs models, things that aren't Gretchen, things that are actually Orcs, so Orc boys, knobs, so on and so forth, have just a skill of 2, and he's no different. Now, considering Flash Gitz are kind of a shooting mob of knobs, basically, and I'll get to that in a moment, it would be nice to see if he has some way of incorporating himself, getting a higher ballistic skill or something, but can't have it all, and that's the least of my worries really with him. I think it'd be nice for him to get 1 additional wound, that's all. That would be pretty cool. But because he basically is a hybrid knob war boss in terms of stat line. He's got a war boss attacks, number of attacks, leadership, and weapon skill, and the rest of his profile is a knob. He has a good armor save, and he has stick bombs, which means which is great because that helps the squad he's with. It lets him go in initiative when he's in the cover. Now, what do I think about using him and how would I use him? Well, first and foremost, in order to use him, you need a Flash Gitz squad. And the thing with Flash Gitz is, at least locally, a lot of people don't like him. Not him himself, but the Flash Gitz in general. Reason being, heavy support slot for one thing, so it takes a spot away from a battle wagon, a death dread, or a killer cannon mob. Looters are cheaper, so you can field more of them in a squad, and have the potential to do a lot more shooting, longer range, and a higher strength value. I personally like Flash Gitz, and here's why. Their snaz gun is not that great stock. There are upgrades you can give it, and I would give it the Mordaka and Shootier, which pretty much make it Assault 2 at Strength 6 instead of Assault 1 at Strength 5. There's another one called Blaster. I don't like it because one of the things it does that makes your weapon get hot. And while Flash Gitz have a 4 plus armor save base, I don't want to do a wound to them because they rolled a 1. And with the number of shots they're going to be rolling, slash the crappy ballistic skill of an Orc, I don't think it weighs out or pays off too much. The thing about Flash Gitz snaz guns is their AP value is random. You roll a d6, so you can't always rely on it to punch through armor. Now, with all that being said, I still like Flash Gitz, and I said I'd tell you why, and here we go. It's mobile firepower, and basically a squad of knobs. It's another way to get the knob stat line in your army. That's the squad. They all have snaz guns, and I would always give the squad, so it adds like +5 per upgrade to the per model. So if you have 2 upgrades, it'd be +10 per model, basically. So it makes it a little more expensive. But I definitely make them have strength 6 and assault 2. They have half the range of a looter's gun, but the mobile firepower, I think, helps take care of that, because you can close the distance on them. You can move around. So if they're moving their bigger guns to the front in terms of tanks or whatever, you could position them behind cover at a line of sight, which means, excuse me, that's a weird sound, which means more survivability in a way, and you don't have static. And the problem with static with Orks is, at least in my opinion, is you kind of move away from your static forces, which means if your enemy can burst through a flank or reposition itself quick enough, or outflank even, they can come right up on things you're basically moving away from. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I am by no means an Ork expert. So how I would use Captain Badrukk and extension, his Flash Gitz squad that he's with, is in a supportive role of your main army. He's not, him and his squad is not going to be something you just take to throw in there because you have the points. They're going to be a point sink, and you shouldn't take them unless you actively are going to use them and incorporate them in your tactics as a main part of it. And they can really supplement a shooter boy squad, basically an Ork boy squad with shooters, really well. That's a lot of shots from the Ork boy squad, a lot of shots from this squad, to help thin down the enemy with shooting. In a pinch, they can deal with armor 10 and even armor 11 with their strength of 6. And if you want to rely on glancing or hope for lucky 6 to glance, they can even deal with armor 12 as far as glancing. Not so much deal with it as to destroy it, but do something to it. Likewise, they can assault. And because Captain Badrukk has stick bombs, you can have a squad of knobs going at initiative with their 3 years charge, assaulting into a squad in cover. But with the Flash Gitz, as opposed to Ork Boy mobs, is they have to make use of their shooting. They got special rules for shooting. They got targeters. They got their snaz guns. They're meant to shoot, and shooting is something you should do. Don't walk around the battlefield. I personally put them in a transport. Either they can't take a transport, which is unfortunate. I think they should be able to, but they can't. So what I would do is either take a transport that some other squad has and put them in it instead, or dish out the points for a battle wagon, a bare bones battle wagon, enough to keep it going, nothing too crazy, and they can do very well on that. Remember, being open top, the squad can shoot out, assault, all that good stuff. So definitely worth putting them in a transport. Increase their survivability. Now they got 2 wounds apiece, yes, and they got armor save 4 standard, but still, anything to keep the squad from taking losses will be of help. Captain Badrukk himself further supplements that squad's ability of being like a supportive shooting into assault role. Basically, lending its weight of firepower to another squad that's shooting into something that you want to take down infantry-wise. I definitely would utilize the Flash Gitz for infantry. I think even against anything, even Terminators, if you hit it, you're probably going to wound it. In terms of that, their D6, their AP value is a D6, so you do have the potential to pierce Terminator armor. It's random though, and not something you should solely rely on. But the potential is there. even without that potential, you're going to be rolling a lot of dice for hits. A lot of those hits are going to be wounds, considering the strength value. And the aim of the game is making your opponent roll more dice than they want to. The more dice they roll, the higher the chances of failing a die roll. And that's what I like. That's how I hopefully take some opponents down. And if you're lucky, or if you're depending on what your opponent does or how you can flush them out of cover, statistically you should be able to deal with things like Carapace armor. So that's nice with us in terms of bypassing their armor. But I would utilize them in a supporting role for the most part. They would be my main force because they just would lack the numbers. The squad is from 5 to 10, so they don't have the numbers to be at the forefront of your army. But they are very good support, and Captain Badrukk lets them assault on the cover and have their initiative because he has stick bombs. And Captain Badrukk has 4 attacks base. Remember, he has a Slugger and a Chopper, so he has 5 attacks there. He has 6 on the charge. So he lends considerable assault potential to a squad that already has good assault potential, being Knobs with 3 attacks base. That's just my opinion in terms of, I think Flash Gitz a little underrated. Yeah, they're a bit points heavy to have them for a model with a ballistic skill 2 that relies on its gun to kill things for the most part. But mobile shooting from a transport, or even if you have to hoof it on foot, they can provide mobile shooting power. I definitely would think twice in terms of breaking for open ground to close with the enemy or close on an objective if there's Flash Gitz around with their shooting, on top of what other shooting that the army already has. Just because their weight of firepower is going to be the same, if not more so, than a Terminator shooting squad with Storm Bolters. So, and we all seen, I hope, and I know I've seen and I've done, or utilized the effectiveness of Storm Bolter fire shooting on the move. And considering that Flash Gitz have targeters and they got these shots and they have higher strength, yeah, they're hitting less often, but they should only, not that it should be more effective, it should be just about as effective, not a little bit more so for the Flash Gitz, considering how the higher strength value, the random AP roll, but the ballistic skill 2 kind of makes it drop down a bit, so I'd say it's about even, if not a little bit in the Flash Gitz favor, because if they hit, they're gonna wound pretty easily. I would also utilize them a lot against some of your tougher opponents, just to wound. If you're not worried about bypassing armor, you just want to get the wounds on them, I would utilize it against any Tyranid monsters creature if you give it the strength upgrade, because then it's wounding them on a 4, because no Tyranid model has a toughness higher than 6. I would utilize it against Plague Marines just to help make wounding them easier. Who cares if they get their armor save and feel no pain, unless you happen to roll good enough on the AP value. But again, we're talking about just wounding. Steam thing popped up here, that's always good. But we're going to keep that in. I'm not going to try and edit, because I don't edit. And I don't feel like doing another take of this video. Where was I? Dealing with Plague Marines, dealing with monsters, creatures. As far as just wounding, remember I'm not talking about their AP value because it is random. Dealing with models on bikes. You have the strength value, especially when you make their strength total 6 because of the upgrade. The squad's not good. The squad is good not only at lending their weight of fire to the rest of the army as far as we're shooting at, but also shooting at those squads that have a higher toughness or better durability in some way, because you got the strength value, you got that random AP, which could be your ace in the hole, and after that's all said and done, you're going to slam into it in the assault phase with lots of attacks at a decent strength because of Furious Charge. Anyways, that's it for how I use Captain Badrukk, mobile fire support, and then follow it up with getting stuck in, and cleaning them off, or cleaning the opponent's squad out in the assault. Anyways, that's it for Captain Badrukk, a cool model, and a cool upgrade character for a squad that I think is a little bit underrated. And anyways, take it easy.